Hi, this is Dan LaFave with the Graveyard Shift. I thought I'd come to you today. From time to time I do some videos about the paranormal supernatural world, but I thought I'd come out to you today to just show you some things, some interesting things. There are, again, a lot of skeptics to this field, but I can tell you, as long as myself, my wife, all our friends who have investigated, explored with us across Texas, we've seen a lot. We've also encountered a lot as far as the paranormal supernatural is concerned. The easiest way to show any person who's skeptical to the paranormal supernatural is to basically take them in so that they can experience and see these things as we're seeing and experiencing them. And that way they can try to roll out things, which a lot of times with the paranormal supernatural, when the extreme stuff happens, it just kind of blows your mind. There's a lot of different things that you look at, you just try to rationalize the best that you can. And a lot of times you just cannot come up with solutions to what may be happening. You roll out everything, and what's left in the end is the paranormal supernatural. But as long as we've been doing this, one of the things that we have done, because we do know that this world does exist, this mysterious world, but one thing we've done is we've gone out and we're way past trying to confirm if ghosts and spirits and other things in the paranormal and supernatural exist. We're to the point of not necessarily trying to prove these things, we're trying to go further. We're trying to actually speak with the dead, so to speak. There's many different ways, many different avenues that we use. There is what we call, and a lot of people refer to this as taboo, a lot of people use what are called Ouija boards and different ways to get across. We of course use what we call digital audio recorders, and in a few minutes I'm going to demonstrate to you live. Do a few recording sessions, record about 3 to 4 minutes, and I'm going to ask questions as I'm doing this, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to listen and play this back on tape for you, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to basically speak with the dead. This doesn't happen all the time, but I can tell you, as long as we've been doing it, and as many times as I've recorded and done these little short sessions and asked a lot of questions, we do get a lot of things back. But first of all, I want to talk with you a little bit about Ouija boards. A lot of people do refer to Ouija boards as being very taboo. I'm going to come right out and show you a little bit. I actually do have a Ouija board, and believe it or not, this is a replica of what is called a Witchboard, which was from a movie that came out in the 80s, which was a very popular horror movie at the time and got a lot of people thinking about Ouija boards.
Are you here? Can you hear me?
It began at a party.
Will you return to the living one day? What's he gonna do, haunt me?
This movie was called Witchboard, and again, this was just a movie out of Hollywood, but at the same time it does examine Ouija boards, or quote unquote witch boards, and the different things that can happen, the so-called evil things that can happen when people do use Ouija boards. And in the past I have done cases where a lot of the history shows that either teenagers or other people played around with Ouija boards. They considered them to be a game. We don't consider it to be a game. There's a lot to this. Sometimes people open mysterious doorways to the other side. So again, with witch boards and the movie Witchboard that came out in the 80s, there are a lot of dangers. And in the past, I've done cases which involved the use of Ouija boards, and unfortunately a lot of times this involved teenagers or people using Ouija boards in the form of what we call a game. And unfortunately, as far as Ouija boards are concerned, Parker Brothers bought this game or basically brought Ouija boards to the forefront and label it a game. You can go down to your neighborhood toy store and you can basically buy these as a game. A lot of times kids are led to believe that it is a game, when in fact it really isn't. But anyway, I wanted to just kind of show you this Witchboard that I have, and then in a few minutes I'm going to run some live EVP recording sessions for you. I also have PSB7 Spirit Box. I'm going to run a session or two of that. Just to see what comes in. Again, the paranormal supernatural doesn't happen all the time, but I'm going to run some short sessions live for you here so that you can actually see if we pick up anything, and you can hear it as I get it. And I'll show you how easy this does work as far as speaking with the dead. But here we go. We have basically, here you have a Witchboard. And this, again, is a replica from the movie Witchboard. And you can see that, looking at this, that there was a lot of detail done with this Ouija board. And again, I don't use this, but at the same time, I kind of keep it, I guess, more or less as a novelty item, and to also show people what these things look like. And you know, there was one time, I do admit, that right after I got this, me and my wife did use it, and shortly after using it, we did hear some very strange noises and had strange things happening in the house. And it's kind of spooked my wife Connie, so since those days, we don't use this, you know, because I do believe that there are some things with these Witchboards which just are not good, I guess. You know, that's another way of looking at it. Let me just adjust the camera here. So you have to be careful with these things, because you just don't know what's going to happen with them. And I do find it very interesting because, again, it's a way of speaking with the dead. And Ouija boards have been around since the early 1900s, and there's just a lot of mystery out there still about them as far as what they do and the terrible things that can happen from them. And there are, of course, mixed reactions, mixed opinions. Some people believe, you know, it's totally taboo. You shouldn't have these things. Other people, you know, I can say I've had this Witchboard for years, this Ouija board, and I can tell you, you know, things don't happen just by having it. But if you do use it in the wrong ways, I, you know, do tend to believe that bad things could come as a result of that, if people don't take things seriously. Because again, the paranormal supernatural world does exist. There are very mysterious things out there. As we go farther into 2014, we're going to show you a lot of things. We are in the midst of taping a new paranormal supernatural television show, which is due to be exciting, and of course there will be more details as far as that is concerned. And you'll be able to watch that show later in 2014, as far as the interesting things that we do and the very interesting places that we go to, where we find things. And a lot of these places are, I guess you can coin the term, pretty extremely scary as far as some of the things we run into, things that have happened in these locations. But anyway, let me go ahead, and we're going to record a session here. I'm just going to adjust the camera so that you can see the recorder. And you're going to see this as I'm doing it, so if we do pick up anything, you'll find out. You know, see what we get. But anyway, here is your standard digital recorder, digital audio recorder. There's many different kinds out there. This is actually a Sony model that I've had this for years, and believe it or not, I don't know why this happens, but I get some really good things on this particular recorder. And again, we're to the duration now. When we do investigations, we're exploring. We don't run this for long periods of time. We'll run a short EVP session with the Graveyard Shift Paranormal. And we will, while we're on camera, while we're actually doing things, we will run these short sessions right back and listen to them. So, as we pick up things and we're in the location, if we do come and get something really clear, which does happen a lot of times during our explorations, our investigations, you'll hear it as we get it. And this new TV show that you're going to see that we're going to be doing this year, you will also hear it and get it as we're doing it, as we run into things. We don't believe in going back at the end and looking at everything when we're not in the location anymore. We believe in doing it right then and there and going as deep as we possibly can go as far as supernatural is concerned. So we'll see what we get and we'll see what happens. I want to, first of all, I forgot that I did set this recorder recently. Me and my wife, I guess about 2 months ago, we got a call to go talk with a client here in San Angelo. And this was about mysterious haunting things happening in her house that were somewhat scary to her. Now, when we were there running just a straight what you call an interview session, and during those sessions I just like a lot of times just to run a recorder. I'm not necessarily looking for anything, but I run it and then I go back and I listen to it afterwards. Now, when we were going through this female client's home, we passed the bathroom, and I actually have this recorder right at this point, and this was probably about 35 minutes into the tape session, and we weren't picking up anything. But at that moment, I was asking her about the bathroom, and she made a statement on this recorder about how she feels weird and feels very strange in the bathroom. And I want you to hear, I'm just going to play this back for you real quick, but I want you to hear what comes back right after she makes that statement. And I'll also play you an amplified version of that EVP as well on the video here.
Sometimes I'll be in the shower and feel like somebody's watching me, kind of freak out. We all have those feelings. Yeah, all the time.
Did you hear that? Let me go back.
Stay away from all the recording. You go back and listen. Kind of freak out. We all have those feelings. Yeah, all the time.
Go back one more time for you.
Stay away from all the recording. You go back and listen. You never know. There's no reason why we're running. But no, free from all the... In the shower, I feel like somebody's watching me, kind of freak out. We all have those feelings. Yeah, all the time.
So that means if you do get something that's...
Sometimes I'll be in the shower and feel like somebody's watching me, kind of freak out.
We all have those feelings.
Yeah,
all the time.
Okay. What we hear on that, and again, this is played back to your video camera, but what we hear is a man's voice very creepily saying, "I'm watching," right after she makes the statement about how strange she felt in the shower. Now, we did a lot of things with that case, and that house ended up getting blessed. And fortunately, after they had that house blessed, all these bad things, all these weird experiences, these things she heard, the knocks on the door late at night, window, different things walking around the house, those things disappeared. Now, I'm not going to play for you, but on that tape recording session, which lasted probably a good 45, 50 minutes while we were there interviewing her, this was not the only EVP that was captured that Saturday morning. We actually picked up probably in the neighborhood of about 5 to 6 of them, which when I heard these, I was extremely disturbed. I got right back with her. I played these recordings to her, and shortly after, she got with her church, her mother, and they had somebody come in, and they did have the house blessed. And luckily she reported about 2 weeks after that nothing's happened. And this was about 2 months ago, and luckily nothing's happened since those days. But anyway, let's go ahead and we'll do a recording and we'll see what types of things we pick up. I'm just going to ask questions. One of the things you want to do on these questions is you want to give them about 10 seconds in between each question. Now this is a Friday morning that I'm doing this on. It's sunny outside. You know, when you do these EVPs, when you speak with the dead, which again we believe that we're doing, these are not radio stations coming through, folks. When we get these responses, they're pretty clear, and they're coming from the other side. And sometimes we tend to believe that sometimes they're good, but sometimes they may be evil as well. So let's just see what happens, and we'll see what we get. Okay, I'm running a recording session. I'm going to run this for about 2-3 minutes. First of all, is there anybody here right now? I'm alone in the house. There's nobody here except for myself. But again, is there anybody here? I'll give you 10 seconds to answer me. Again, is there anybody here in this house that can hear my voice at this time? Are there any what we call ghosts or spirits that would like to speak to me right now? If there's any spirits here right now who wish to speak, please tell me your name, and then please give me your message. How many of you are here with me at this time? And that is just the refrigerator behind me, that noise that you just heard. If you're here and you're speaking from the other side, what can you tell me? What is that world like? Also, it's real important when you do these recordings, you want to use what is called a tagging method. When we're out exploring, investigating, we anytime natural things happen, a car passes, noises in the home, somebody trips over something, knocks something over, we tag it. So that when we go back and we listen to these recordings, we know automatically at that point that that noise picked up was created by natural sources. So let's go back and play this recording, and we'll see if we get anything.
Running a recording session. Going to run this for about 2-3 minutes. First of all, is there anybody here right now? I'm alone in the house. There's nobody here except for myself. But again, is there anybody here? I'll give you 10 seconds to answer me. Anybody here right now? I'm alone in the house. There's nobody here except for myself. But again, is there anybody here? I'll give you 10 seconds.
There's one right there.
Anybody here? So, is there anybody here right now? I'm alone in the house. There's nobody here except for myself. But again, is there anybody here? I'll give you 10 seconds to answer me.
They're talking, folks.
Anybody here?
It's Friday morning.
I'm alone in the house.
You
There's
saw
nobody
this.
here
There you go.
except for myself. But again, is there anybody here? I'll give you 10 seconds to answer me.
We'll go a little further this time, see if there's anything else.
Again, is there anybody here in this house that can hear my voice at this time?
Sometimes it gets a little creepy when you do this and you're alone and you're listening.
Are there any what we call ghosts or spirits that would like to speak to me right now? If there's any spirits here right now who wish to speak, please tell me your name, and then please give me your message. How many of you are here with me at this time?
Noise in the background.
And that is just the refrigerator behind me, that noise that you just heard. If you're here and you're speaking from the other side, what can you tell me? What is that world like? Tell me, what, and that is just the refrigerator behind me, that noise that you just heard.
That noise before I didn't hear, so I'm going to go back and...
If you're here and you're speaking from the other side, what can you tell me? What is that world like?
Not sure what that is.
If you're here and you're speaking from the other side, what can you tell me? What is that world like?
Not sure what that was. That sounded very strange. You hear that?
What is that world like?
There's things there, folks.
Also, it's real important when you do these recordings, you want to use what is called a tagging method. When we're out exploring, investigating, anytime natural things happen, a car passes, noises in the home, somebody trips over something, knocks something over, we tag it. So that when we go back and we listen to these recordings, we know automatically at that point that that noise picked up was created by natural sources. So let's go back and play this recording, and we'll see if we get anything.
Okay. Now you heard on that recording, there are some things. There was that voice at the very beginning, but you're hearing it as I heard it, and there's something there. Exactly what that is, I don't know, but it did sound like a response to my questions. Let's go ahead and do another recording session right now, and we'll see what else we get. Okay, we're back again, speaking with the other side. I would like to ask you a few more questions. Can you tell me your name? Can you tell the people out there what your name is? Some strange noises in the house I just heard. I'm not sure what those are. We do have strange things happen in the house from time to time. Can you tell us your name, please? Again, can you tell us your name? if you're here, what message are you trying to give me or the people out there? What message are you trying to tell us? Okay, let's go back and play. We'll see if we get anything else. It's a little tiring sometimes holding these things. There we go.
Okay, we're back again. Speaking with the other side. I would like to ask you a few more questions. Can you tell me your name? Can you tell the people out there what your name is?
Yeah, that sounds strange. Let's go back.
Tell the people. Ask you a few more questions. Can you tell me your name? Can you tell the people out there what your name is?
To do that, let's go back one more time.
Your name. A few more questions. Can you tell me your name? Can you tell the people out there what your name is?
There's a voice there, folks.
Can you tell me your name? Can you tell the people out there what your name is?
Saying something. I'll have to go back and find out exactly what that is.
Some strange noises in the house I just heard. I'm not sure what those are. We do have strange things happen in the house from time to time. Can you tell us your name, please?
Did you hear that?
Again, can you tell us your name?
Some strange noises again.
If you're here, what message are you trying to give me or the people out there? What message are you trying to tell us? Okay, let's go back and play. Let's see if we get anything. It's all tiring sometimes holding these things.
Okay. I was going to do the spirit box for you, but I think I'm going to save that for another session because this does take a little time to record, but this is very interesting also. We plug the speaker into this. We go either forward to backwards at really fast speeds between radio frequencies. And the way this works, as we ask the questions, you get the same way. You get like a live response coming back. You get them saying things at times. Now, the skeptics, again, will try to claim that, again, this is just radio stations, little blips coming through from that. But we tend to believe differently because a lot of things we do get are very, what we call smart, direct communication. They answer our questions directly. You get direct responses back. It's just intelligent communication coming through. Now, if these were what we so-called blips coming through from radio stations, I'm sorry, it wouldn't be intelligent. It wouldn't be like in direct communication to the types of things that we're asking when we go into supposedly haunted locations. But again, we use a lot of different equipment. You know, you got the Ghost Meter Pro. You got many different things out there. You got the K2s, you know, that you see up on TV. We use everything that you see currently on TV. We've used that for years. And I've been doing this for like 14 years now. Covered a lot of things. You know, Ghost Hunters didn't hit television airways till about 2004. We were using a lot of these things. You know, this is a relatively new device. But, you know, a lot of the K2s, the other devices, they've been around for years. And we've used different things as we've gone along. And the unique thing with the paranormal, supernatural, is that there's so much experimentation out there. There's so many different ways you can go. And as many years as we've done it, as others in this field have done this, you know, the shows on TV, investigators out there, there's still a lot of questions out there. You know, we're really not any further than we were when we first started. But I can tell you that with the things that myself, my wife, our friends, things that we're doing now, things we've done in the past, the things we're going to do in the future, as far as our new television show that comes out, we can tell you that it's going to be really exciting. There's a lot of things that we're going to do, it's going to be different. We're going in deep, and we're going in to show you what it's really like as we experience it. We want to show you those feelings, those emotions, those different things that we go through as we pick up these things, as we hear them, as we see them, as we feel them. You know, we want you to know what we go through, because I'm not going to lie to you, the paranormal supernatural, the way that we see it, it's scary.